Amad Diallo, what a player, what a legend in the making at Manchester United. But it seems like there's a little bit of a wrinkle. He has had beef with Ten Hag.
Who hasn't?
We saw Fenerbahce. He didn't look happy on the bench. Antony's getting picked over him. He was getting picked over him last season. Then he would come on and play lights out. What's going on behind the scenes? Erik Ten Hag can't stop snubbing Amad Diallo. By the way, his contract is up in June 2025. We do have an option to extend, but does he want to be a part of Manchester United with Ten Hag kind of putting him behind Antony?
I mean, you can't blame him for wanting to leave. He's been at United now for, I think, 4 years, ever since, we decided to sign 2 players that weren't Jadon Sancho and hope they would turn into a Jadon Sancho. How fun that's been, our adventure for a right winger. I think he's the best crop out of the whole lot of the 4 right wingers we bought over the last 5 years. And finally, coming into his own last season, huge goal in the quarterfinals against the Scouse Bastards in extra time to get us to the semis that we muddled through, and then obviously going to the finals and winning. And then he started the season very strongly, was creating a lot of chances. I think he got a little bit of a funny injury, and then all of a sudden, back on the bench. So it makes no sense. He's a very talented player. He's 2-footed. He's a naturally gifted footballer. I mean, you just look at him. He's a player. He's an absolute player, and I don't understand this, and I think this is just another reason that Erik Ten Hag is not the right man for the job at Manchester United today, because he falls out with too many players. I understand some of them more, but this guy is he strikes me. He's not a big, huge personality. Amad Diallo seems like a pretty humble kid, good guy. What we've heard is he's a hard worker. This is not falling out with the Jadon Sancho, which I can understand. Amad Diallo, you're starting beef with him. I just think this manager is too stubborn for his own good. What do you think, sir?
He has gotten, in the last 2 seasons in the Premier League, he's gotten 7 starts with Erik Ten Hag. He has 2 goals, 2 assists. And like you said, more importantly, it's not like we're scoring a lot of goals. United is not hitting the mark in attack. I felt like when he started the season, Amad was locked on the right wing. He was doing good in the overlap. He was getting shots off. There was confidence. And then all of a sudden, it's gone, and he's on the bench. And you got to look at the manager, because he has been able to get the best out of some youngsters. But Amad is one that is a casualty maybe of the bias to his boy Antony, because he would not stop playing Antony last season. And I just don't want to ruin another youngster, because I think this kid has the potential. And there's something about the next man up mentality that is in the United DNA that for some reason we've seen Ten Hag, Wout Weghorst starting over certain players, or, Antony doing the same. And I feel like that just adds a little bit of, the players see through that. And I don't think we should be pissing off Amad right now. Like I said, his contract's up in 2025. We do have the option to extend, but fighting ghosts at the moment.
No, he's a player you want. He's a player for the future. He's a naturally talented. He's so much more talented than Antony. That's the shocking thing, is you put him on, he could beat players on the right, he could beat players on the left. Anthony can't do anything. Anthony is an ineffective footballer, has no business playing at United. He'll go down as one of the worst transfers. He'll definitely be one of the worst United transfers. He'll arguably be one of the worst Premier League transfers in the last 10 years, just because of the money and just how much of a fucking flop he is. And then Amad offers so much. He's 2-footed. He's got great balance. He can get within tight spaces. He works really hard off the ball as well. He probably works harder off the ball than any of our wingers do. So I don't get it. And I fear that he's going to leave and be a casualty of this mess at United, with Erik Ten Hag just fighting everybody. He's fighting shadows, fighting himself in the mirror. Poor bastard. Just let go, bro. He's just trying to control everything, and you just gotta, hey, you can't control everything. You're making a meal of it.
No, and especially when you're seeing Ruud van Nistelrooy give him extra attention, it's adding fuel to the fire where something's off at United. And, it's for me, Mazraoui starting over him, that's kind of, what are we doing here? And it's what's the upside on Mazraoui? What's the upside on Antony? And it's just kind of one of those things where
we have 2 fit fullbacks, and you're playing a fullback in an attacking player position where you have other attack. It just doesn't. It makes no fucking sense.
Look, this is what Ten Hag says. He says, why did why didn't Amad play over Antony? He said he's doing well, but I must also reward the performances of Antony in training. Antony is a threat almost every training. When has he been a threat in a match? Like what is that about? Other than he's his boy.
He's his boy. There you go. That's it. End of. Enough said. He doesn't. He does. He actually backs players when it's even in spite of his own future job prospects at Manchester United. So this guy doesn't know when to help himself.
Look at that face.
Yeah, he should
Look
be
at
pissed.
that.
He was coming on after Antony got subbed for being injured, which I don't want any player to get injured.
No, it's just that Ten Hag has
he's
like
fucking
he
making a
likes
deal
to
with it,
put his thumb on players, and this is something we've seen every season. He did it with CR7. He's done it with Amad. He's done it with Garnacho. He's done it with Rashford. Not saying the players are right. Not saying the players are right or they're not out of control in some ways, but it just isn't getting the best out of what we got, and it isn't the best for the team at a certain point, and you got to question it. But look, let us know what you think about Amad Diallo. Should the club take the one-year option in 2025? Should he be starting over Antony? Are you an Antony fan? Let us know in the comments below. Please like and subscribe. Only 50% of you actually subscribe to our YouTube channel. Help us get it off the ground. And we'll be back with some more Manchester United content in the future.